free-to-play players, this video is for you. It's also sort of for pay-to-play players as well if you just want to collect SSRs in the game. But today we're going to be talking about how to get free SSRs, and we're going to be ranking which ones are the best. So you are able to get free SSRs from completing this game mode right here, which is available on global. The reason I'm on JP is because there's a little bit more available in terms of characters on JP right now than there is in global. So I want to show you guys what you have to look forward to. But when you go into this mode, you are able to take on different bosses. It doesn't matter which boss you take on, doesn't matter which difficulty you take on. Each time you complete it, you will be able to get these medals right here. You can take these medals into the exchange shop and you will be able to exchange them for free SSR characters. So if we go into the exchange shop here, go to this tab right here, and you will see 3 different options if you're on JP. However, if you are on global, you are only going to see 2 options. And I will say it does take quite a while to farm out all the medals you need. So you definitely are going to want to know which of these 3 characters is the best character to summon for, and which one, or not summon for, but exchange for, I should say, and which one is the worst character to exchange for. Now, off the bat, I can tell you most people are probably going to want Jogo because he's absolutely hype, but I mean, maybe people want Mahito, maybe people want Hanami, but here's the catch, okay? Mahito is not yet available on global. So you could potentially farm out enough medals to get one of these 2 characters and then farm out enough to get Mahito by the time he comes out. Mahito isn't going to come till sometime down the road. As he gets closer, I'll give you guys a more concrete timeline because I know that's going to be a question in the comments. When does he come out? It's going to be a while, okay? Just flat out. So right now your choices are really between Jogo and Hanami. So we're going to go over all 3 of these characters' kits though, and we're going to talk about what makes them good or what makes them bad. All right, so starting with Jogo, and I just realized I've been saying his name wrong like the entire time. I've been saying Jogo, so I apologize to anyone out there who's been getting annoyed by that, but I'll try to say it correctly from now on, assuming I'm saying it right now. If not, then oh well, nothing I can do. But for this character, there is a pre-adjustment and a post-adjustment. From what I can tell right now in global, we have the pre-adjustment form of this character. It's also going to be the same thing with Hanami. Now, Mahito does not have like a pre-adjustment and a post-adjustment because he came out in the game later. So we're going to start by talking about Jogo, looking at his skills, what he can do, and how good he is. So with the pre-adjustment, his skill 1 deals melee combined damage equal to 55.7 taijutsu and 55.7 jujutsu to the selected enemy. His skill 2 Hellfire deals range combined damage equal to 80.1% taijutsu and 80.1% jujutsu to the selected enemy. His skill 3 Ember Insects deals 86.8% range jujutsu damage to 1 random enemy, which is interesting. And then the thing that makes him specifically good as a free-to-play player, or halfway decent, like he's still better than some of the summonable SSRs, which is crazy, is his domain expansion ultimate, Coffin of the Iron Mountain. Deals 260% ranged jujutsu damage to all enemies, so it's an AoE. He expands the domain. While the domain is active, grants guaranteed hit effect, that's why he can hit Gojo, and attack immunity nullification to self. Deals 40.3% continuous jujutsu damage flame to all enemies, increases own critical hit rate by 110.7%, increases own damage by 15.5%, reduces own damage received by 15.5%, recovers own cursed energy by 30.2%, and during this time though, he is unable to fill his own ultimate skill gauge. But a lot of really good things going on there. The biggest problem with Jogo is just like his skills up here are kind of lackluster, but once you get him to the point where he can do his ultimate, he becomes a really, really good character. Now for his auto skills, his first one is Violent Eruption. If own HP is 50% or below, increases own jujutsu damage by 25%, so he gets more damage the lower he gets in health, which is okay. And then the Essence of Curses is his second one. At the start of each wave, recovers own cursed energy by 10. Recovering your own cursed energy by 10 is actually pretty decent to have as an auto skill. So overall, he's an okay character in my opinion, but the JP players, we're using the JP tier list once again, think he's kind of middle of the pack. So I'll show you guys that tier list really quickly. So Jogo is actually down here in A+ tier. And if you notice, the new Itadori who just launched, or not new Itadori, but well, yeah, new to global, I guess. The Itadori that launched with global is also down here in A+ tier, but he is still above other summonable SSRs. SSRs. For example, Toto's a summonable one, this Maki's summonable, Megami's summonable. All these are summonable right now on global, and they're all below Jogo. So even if you decide to go for him as a free-to-play unit, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But the next thing I want to point out is these other two characters that we're about to go over. Hanami is up here in S+ tier and Mahito is in S+ tier. They are both sub-meta characters. So if you can get Hanami, I highly recommend that is the free-to-play character you guys go for in the game. And if you decide that you're going to be a casual player and you only want to get one of the three, then you probably want to save for Mahito because he is absolutely insane. So with that said, thrill of the fight Hanami. Pre-adjustment is not going to be as good as post-adjustment, but we're going to go over how she looks in the game right now on global. So her skill 1 is called Cursed Bud, deals 71% ranged Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, and it is a multi-hit attack. The higher the enemy's ultimate skill count, the greater the damage, which is actually pretty good. And then the skill 2, Roots Piercing, deals 210% ranged Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy. Skill 3, Terra Pulchra, if I'm saying that right, decreases all enemies' damage by 19.8%, and then increases own ultimate skill gauge charge rate by 50%. I think this is worded weird. I think it means to say increases all damage, enemies' damage. No, that's right. It's worded the right way. Decreases their damage. So they do less damage to you. It is worded weird though. But they do 19.8% less damage to your characters. And then also increasing your own skill gauge by 50% is insane because that's going to allow her to get her ultimate skill so much quicker. Like that's what makes Hanami insanely good, because that means she can get her domain quicker than Jogo can. And so the domain, ultimate domain expansion, Shining Sea of Growing Branches, deals 462% ranged Jujutsu damage to all enemies for 4 hits, expands the domain, and then while the domain is active, grants guaranteed hit effect and attack immunity nullification to self. That's beautiful. Decreases all enemies' damage by 16.9%, but during this time she's unable to fill her ultimate skill gauge. Now keep in mind when I show you guys all these skills and the percentages, that is at level 1. At level 10, the percentage becomes like much higher. This is why it's so important to upgrade your skills. Make sure you guys are doing that as you go throughout the game. Now as for auto skills, this also makes her really good. This in particular is what makes her insane. Regeneration at the start of the battle recovers 13% HP every turn. Having her own built-in healing is really good. And then the same thing as Jogo, the Essence of Curses, at the start of each wave recovers own curse energy by 10. So overall, JP players and myself rank Hanami up there as an S+ tier character. Specifically after post-adjustment, she becomes a lot better and things change a little bit. But we're not going to talk about post-adjustment. Just keep in mind that however you get her right now in global, she will become better in the future. So, you know, that's just something to look forward to in the future. And we'll talk about post-adjustment when we get to that point, as long as I am incorrect in understanding that right now we're pre-adjustment. I went into the game, looked at the percentages and what everything said for the skills, and it looks like it's the pre-adjustment forms. I wish they had launched with the post-adjustment forms. That would have been sick, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Now, as for Mahito is interesting. Okay, so his skill 1, Defiguration Attack. Look at how much more there is to this. Like, it's crazy. Deals 133.4% ranged taijutsu attack to the selected enemy. If the enemy does not have a weakness to green type, changes the skill's effect to deals 133.4% ranged taijutsu damage to the selected enemy as a type that the selected enemy has a weakness to. So basically, he's effective against all types, which is crazy. And then while the domain is active, depending on own Jujutsu and enemy's remaining HP, instantly kill the enemy. Yo, Mahito's the one you want. Unfortunately, he's not out on global yet, but like, I'm just saying, after you get one of like Hanami or Jogo, because you should probably choose between one of the two, you should be able to farm out enough medals to get Mahito by the time he comes out. So like, just be prepared for that because he's going to be sick, right? Skill 2, Malleable Appearance, grants miniaturization status to self for 1 turn, fills own ultimate gauge by 270. That's really good. While the domain is active, changes the skill effect to deals 224.3% melee taijutsu damage as a type that the selected enemy has a weakness to, so effective against all types once again. Increases the selected enemy's taijutsu damage received by 20%, depending on own jujutsu and enemy's remaining HP, instantly kill them. Just broken, absolutely broken. Skill 3, Idle Transfiguration, deals 400% melee Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy depending on own Jujutsu and enemy's remaining HP, instantly kills them, that's without a domain. And then while the domain is active, changes the skill effect to increases own Jujutsu damage by 20.1%, deals 450% melee Jujutsu damage to the selected enemy depending on own Jujutsu and enemy's remaining HP, instantly kill the enemy. And then for his ultimate, Domain Expansion Self-Embodiment of Perfection, deals 666.2%, interesting number they chose there, range Jujutsu damage to selected enemy, deals damage equal to 15% of all enemies' HP, expands the domain, like that's nuts already. But then the domain, grants guaranteed hit effect and attack immunity nullification to self, decreases own damage received by 20%, unable to fill ultimate skill gauge, whatever, that's not a big deal. When using a skill, depending on own Jujutsu and enemy's remaining HP, instantly kill the enemy. Like, he's so good. He's so freaking broken. And then to top it all off, his auto skill, Regeneration. At the start of each turn, if own HP is 70% or below and own cursed energy is 40 or above, recovers own HP by 8%. The lower the HP is, the greater the HP recovery, up to 16%. Inflicts damage cut to self, decreases own damage received by 12%. It's just, he's so good. Mahito is so freaking good, guys. Like, when he comes out, it's going to be absolutely amazing for free-to-play players because they are going to have you have a sub-meta free-to-play SSR character. Like, that's absolutely insane. That is so good. So once again, Mahito is the one you want, but he's not available on global right now. Sorry, I know I'm getting your hopes up, but out of the two, if you had to choose between Jogo or Hanami, you are going for Hanami here. She is S+ tier. She is really good. She has her own self-regeneration. That's very, very useful. And she's going to get buffed in the future to make her even better. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you guys out. Hopefully that gives you guys an idea of which of these two characters you want to be going for if you are a free-to-play player or if you're just a pay-to-play player who likes to collect free-to-play units. And honestly, it's not even just collecting free-to-play units. These units are usable. Like, whether you pay or whether you're free, like, they're usable. So that's what's absolutely amazing. Unlike a lot of other gacha games, a lot of times the free-to-play units aren't super great, aren't super usable. For example, Dokkan Battle has a lot of those. So the fact that these are usable in the game is absolutely amazing in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the video, please consider going down there, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. And thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. Peace.